pay by check? You got it. Last year I vacated a rental property in which I had resided for a few years. It was a pretty standard affair. Real estate agency. Ray. Was helpful. No real issues to report. They structured their business with a local office which a fake simply handled the affairs of the tenants, with a home office located elsewhere which handled the back end and finances. When I signed my lease, I nominated to pay by bank transfer or electronic funds transfer. It's my preferred way, since I dictate exactly when the payment is made and how much. I can also set it automatically so I never have to worry about it. Keeps the stress away. At the time it was also the REA's preferred payment method. Well, part way into my tenancy I received a letter stating that my REA was changing banks and that for the time being, they were no longer able to accept EFT payments. They would have all tenants migrate to a third-party payment system. I was already unhappy with this decision since I didn't want to involve a third party regarding my rental payments. It seems so unnecessary. The kicker which really pissed me off was that this company charged a fee for making your rent payment. A little digging into the motivation behind this change was quite revealing. In my country, REAs must use a trust account, a bank account, to handle money on behalf of other people, the owners renting out their property. Typically these involve a different fee structure and sometimes have a certain number of free transactions. Part of the REA's job is to reconcile these accounts to properly allocate money to the right portfolios. I did some research on this other third-party company to which I was supposed to make these rental payments. They handle rent payments and the bookkeeping on behalf of REAs. It seems they don't charge the REA for this service, instead making the tenants pay for it. They also charge different fees depending on your payment method, which they conveniently don't advertise on the website. You only find out when your REA sends you the sign-up form. In essence, my REA wanted to save some time and money by throwing me, and presumably the rest of their renting portfolio, under the bus and make me pay a fee to pay my rent to a dubious third-party company. I was livid. Thankfully my state saw these shitheads coming. In rental tenancy law, they specifically state that an REA must provide at least one method of payment which does not incur a fee beyond banking fees. My agency of course did this, but used the most obnoxious method possible: bank personal check. They knew people would be pressured to sign up for this system if their alternative was to write checks. But hey, they listed it as a valid form of payment. So, cue the malicious compliance. I called my bank and immediately ordered a checkbook, shortly followed by an email to REA stating I would be making my payments via check from now on. On my way home I stopped by my post office and picked up some registered mail envelopes. Game on, fuckers. I was actually excited to do this, as I'd never written a check before. I had a spreadsheet made with all the information I could record: check number, mail date, delivery date, cashed date, tracking number, amount, you name it. I kept it. I also kindly notified REA that I had mailed the check, and provided a tracking number so they could keep an eye on its delivery. Well. Several days after the first check arrived, REA's head office called me. They give me a grand story about how this new system they've migrated to is so good and how safe it is, and how it's so convenient. I let her waffle on for a while, and simply tell her that I'm not comfortable letting a third party handle my rent payments. I then tell her I'll think about it and hung up. I had no intention of changing my mind. Next day I sent off another email stating I've considered it and I will remain paying by check. A few days before I mail my second check, yes, I'd only sent a single check at this point, I get another phone call. It's head office again. They're asking me to reconsider migrating. Out of the hundreds of properties in their portfolio, I was the only one who was paying by check. They also gave me some sob story about how they had issues with fraudulent transactions with EFT, which is a completely shit excuse. My first thought was that it's really unfortunate that all these other tenants now have to pay a fee to have the privilege of paying their rent. But the RA offered a compromise. They said that they could set me up on a specific profile, which meant that the RA would pay the fee, but that I would be required to pay via direct debit. There's no way in hell I'm letting anyone have direct access to my money, least of all a real estate agent. Mind you, I'd never raised the fee as my concern. Bank personal check fees and mailing by registered post was slightly more expensive than the fees they would be charging anyway. My issue was the lack of control, and the fact that the RA was effectively lying to me as an excuse to save money. I politely declined their offer and mailed off the second check. Real estate agency buckled. They had no leg to stand on. They openly stated that check was an acceptable payment method, then got all shitty when their plan didn't work on me. For the effort they tried to save reconciling my EFT payment, they had to keep doing it on top of accepting delivery of a check, cashing it and waiting for it to clear. They emailed me after they received the second check. Mavoryx, we request that you make your rent payments via bank transfer from now on. Ha! Remember the first email they sent me? That they were changing banks and couldn't accept EFT anymore? I wrote back, my pleasure. As you've changed financial institutions recently, can you please forward me the details of your new trust account? The response I got back was oh so satisfying. Please just use the original details you were provided and we will let you know if they change. Fucking busted. Fuck you, Ray. I caught you in your fucking lie. I switched back to EFT as it was arguably more convenient for me. And despite my pettiness, I wanted to act in good faith. Though I was a little disappointed in getting prepared to mail checks and then abandon my routine. They never changed their banking information for the remainder of my tenancy. By the way, it was all a ruse. TL. Doctor. Real estate forces me onto a rent payment system which charges a fee. Or pay by check. I take the check option and they get upset. Reverting back to my old payment method after just 2 checks. Edit. Minor spelling and word choice. Love this story. I wish there was a way for you to inform the other tenants so they could save the fee too. My man, I feel you on this 100%. My WA is $400 per monthly and charges 3%. $14. For any convenient payments method, so writing a check makes a lot of sense. However, my natural gas company changes $1 online. But stamps are less than 60 cents, so I save 40 cents a month. I still write a check because it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. I wish everyone would just let me pay using a method that's easier for both of us without a fee. But here we are using a method of payment from the 1700s. Sending stuff through physical mail when we can literally send stuff across the world instantly. Online. Thanks, needed to get that off my chest. Last apartment complex I lived in charged a ludicrous $79 fee just for the privilege of paying your rent. I know you're not in the US. But here, when you initiate a payment, if the payee cannot accept EFT, the bank will automatically generate a check and mail it. When my apartment first offered online payments, there was a $25 fee to do it. Might have been $35. I don't remember. I continued to write checks as that was free and I had a lifetime supply of them since that was the only check I ever wrote. Some years later they finally dropped the fee. I happily switched over to the online payment system and made it automatic since forgetting about it is expensive. $50 fee plus a certified check instead of a regular check. Should have told all the other tenants, especially after they allowed you to change back. How much did those registered mail envelopes cost you? In your place, I would have been tempted to use them all up before switching back to EFT. Gotta recoup one's costs, you know? I've had real estate agents try that on with me, too. My current one even went so far as to sign me up with them and sent me an activation link, which I never clicked on and reported as spam, blocked on my mail platform. Not only is there a per payment fee, there's also a percentage on top, even for BPay and direct deposit. For credit cards it goes up even more. Oh, it's super convenient. And they offer you rewards and stuff. You should sign up. You're a bigger person than I am. I would have continued to eat the cost of checks, stamps and certified letters for the rest of my occupancy just to harass them. Did you tell any other tenants? This was one of the most enjoyable MCs I've read. My credit union will mail checks for free on my behalf with their online bill pay system if they do not have an EFT set up. My WA wants everyone to pay online through a third party which also charges fee. They get mailed a check each year from my credit union, much to their displeasure. Are you in QLD by any chance? My hero. They want to play games? You say, game on. Are you Aussie? Because we have exactly the same tale. Except we didn't bother with the checks. Brilliant. Canadian here. Can somebody tell me what the difference is between EFT and direct debit, direct deposit? I thought EFT equals electronic funds transfer. And that's basically what direct debit deposit is. So I'm confused why you'd be okay with one and not the other. I pay all my bills, expenses electronically. I have some cash in my wallet but I haven't touched it in months. In fact, it's relatively rare that I even pull out my bank Visa card. Most is done by app or Google Pay, Apple Pay. I was actually excited to do this, as I'd never written a check before. Careful. It's a slippery slope. Before you know it, you'll be listening to cassettes on a Walkman. This is one of the best posts I've read in this subreddit. I'd have just continued to pay by check out of spite. Sounds similar to some of the Aussie companies. I've never signed up as all my RAY have offered BPay or direct transfer. But some only offer cash, check. I don't know if it's still true. But a few years ago they would keep charging you fees because they wouldn't be told when the lease expired. You had to manually cancel the account when you terminated the lease. https www.thegurdian.com/Australia-news/2021/John/19/pay-the-rent-and-the-rest-tenants-hit-back-the-r. Eyes in third-party processing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.